Hi, go ahead and tell us about the water.
Well, it feels pretty good. It's cool. Look how clear it is. This is really clear. This is beautiful. Feels good. It's called a nice warm day. Good place to be.
It's always a good day to come here and harvest water. It's very delicious.
Yeah, you should tell them about how pure it is within comparison to other water in the world.
There's only, according to the sign that we will show you, there's only some places in Germany where the water's more pure and cleaner than this right here. But it's one of the most healthiest and best water supplies around. So, and as you can see, the family has done a lot of work here to let the people come. When I first came here, there was not a path. And what happens when you walk on the grass over here? Did you sink in? That's what you do. Yeah, it's real soft. The earth is really soft there.
Yeah, I have a hard time walking on rocks, but you know, with this moss in here, this is soft too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really nice rocks in here too. A lot of nice stones. I don't know, little grandmothers and grandfathers and healers. Nice stones. All kinds of different colors.
Cool.
Very pretty, very nice. These stones here, do you know if they came from the area here?
I'm not sure. We'll have to ask and find out.
Okay, well, we'll be seeing them in a little bit anyway, so.
Okay, so
right.
There you go, hey. Welcome to Mending the Hoop. I'm Dennis. We're here. We talked about water before. The harvesting of the water is here. The water supply that we get most of the time from municipalities is filled with chlorine and fluoride. This comes from the Lake Superior watershed. It's considered one of the most delicious tasting waters around. And we thought at least first we'd show you some of the importance of the water and the necessary for water, because we cannot live here very long, like not a very long time, less than 30 days without water. So this is one of the vital places. I encourage you to go on the internet and search for places. You can look for fresh water, and that'll be your job today or tomorrow to do. So go ahead and look for where you can get and harvest the water. Make sure you ask permission first, and before taking anything, and give an offering up to thank for the water. So there, we're gonna go from here, and we're gonna go interview one of the owners of the property. It's him and his sister that own this property, and their family's owned it since 1929. You know, about 80 years is what they've been at. So we're gonna go interview them and talk to them a little bit about this special water and this special place they have. So we'll talk to you in a minute. Thank you.
Okay.
Best water ever.
Yeah? How long have you been coming here?
Well, my wife's from Muskego, so she knew about it, 50-some years ago. So
Cool.
And if you look at the old man and his son, they look identical.
Yeah?
The old man, he's 85. He's out here pushing the lawnmower, shoveling, cutting, trimming.
Nice.
He's as lean as they come.
Nice.
I talked to other older people here, and they've been drinking it their whole life, so I go by that too. But I know they test it and stuff. If you look it up on the internet, there's a sign over it that says World's Fair or whatever.
Right.
Back in the early 1900s, they used it. So it's supposedly Lake Superior water.
Right.
One guy came out here and he started talking numbers, and I'm like, okay. It's like the temperature and the parts per million and all this other, and how deep it is. And I thought, all I know is it's good.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, I know.
Num nums. It was good?
Yeah, are you filming?
Yes.
Okay. It's on, Dennis.
Okay, well, welcome back to Mending the Hoop, and with Sherri and Dennis here. And we just got here. Red is sitting back and relaxing with a couple of his friends.
Charlie Moulter.
Charlie Moulter's here, and we'll be talking with him on another section. But right now, we wanted to talk to Red a little bit about. Red's family has acquired this water that we were at, the property, and that the people spoke to you about. What was that, in 1929?
Yes, 1929.
And how long have you been living there?
Well, they brought me out in a baby buggy in a Model T when I was 18 months old.
Okay.
And I've been out there ever since.
And the camera's this way too, if that's okay.
Yeah, but I'm talking to you, so.
Okay. Well, here, I'll help you out. How's this?
He's okay.
So, with your family, you own this property and your sister, right?
Right, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. And so why did you open this water up for the people? Why did you let them do that?
Well, I am the kind of guy, I like to experiment. And somebody brought me a point, a piece of pipe with holes in that I could pound into the ground to see if water would flow. And I did it, and I was amazed because the water started flowing, and it was pure and cold, and I never shut it off, so it ran constantly, at probably 2.5 gallons a minute. And I thought, well, I've got a lot of friends in Big Bend that are retired. They don't have money. Let them come and get their water here. Or my friends, like you, come get the water. And the word of mouth, it spread. And there was just more people, and more people. And the numbers of people that come in are always on the increase. There's more and more people all the time. They're coming down there during the day, during the night. It can be 15 below zero, and the water never freezes because it's coming out of the earth at 53 degrees. And they'll be down there in minus 15 Fahrenheit getting water. They use it for all kinds of things. Some people use it just for watering their pets. Their pets won't drink anything else. They make beer, they make wine, they make tea, mixed drinks, and it's a very popular water.
Now, have you had anybody that's come in and like swam in the water for healing and stuff? Have you?
No.
Had nobody like that?
No. The only thing we had one year, a friend of mine did the polar bear dip. On New Year's Day, he laid in that water, and
In the bigger body of water or the smaller with it?
in the down below, in the smaller part down there. It was deeper than in the area where he laid, and he laid right in there. And how he didn't freeze to death, I don't know. But I do know that if you put your arm in there, like say up to your elbow in the pipe going down there, after 30 seconds your arm starts to hurt. There's pain, physical pain. It really gets, it's that cold.
So it's that cold and force coming up through it.
Oh yeah,
right?
there's a lot of force that's coming up there.
Well, I stood in it for a little bit. I have crippled feet.
Okay.
So I'm going to try this out.
Okay.
I'm gonna step in it. It felt pretty good, but I wasn't in there that long. I have rheumatoid. They would have got cold fast.
Okay.
but Dennis got me chugging from the thing.
Oh yeah.
Water coming down my face and drinking it. I tasted it. It was pretty good. It was really good. And so I'm curious to know, how pure is that water?
Well, how pure can Mother Nature make it? It's filtered through the ground. I imagine that's the best filter in the world. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, there are times at my age, my eyes itch. And I don't know if it's allergies or what, I'll be sitting down there. So I just go down there and I flush my eyes out with this water. And if it wouldn't be pure, I certainly wouldn't be putting it in my eyes. Mm-hmm. And immediately the itching and the burning is gone. And I take my handkerchief and dry it, and I'm fine.
Well, you look to be in pretty good health. I think that water's probably really helped you over the years. And you're out here working on airplanes. And you invited us out here, which is really nice. It's pretty exciting, these airplanes.
You got to thank Charlie for letting us use the hangar.
Yeah.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
With the, I know when I first came out to see you, Red, there was a epidemic because the city of Milwaukee was had cryptosporidium, and they knew about it, and they didn't tell the people about it. And I was talking about when we were out there by the water about how in most of the municipalities in the state of Wisconsin, they require people to put fluoride and chlorine into the water. And one of the reasons that I love your water is because it doesn't have that in it. I know you test it regularly to see if the quality's there, and it always is there, it seems like, when you've had the private testing done, correct?
Yes, and the real test is drink it, see if you get sick. You don't.
Yes.
Get healthy, not sick.
I can attest to that because there was a point where I was living in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I would still come back and see red, and I'd fill up 30 or 40 gallons of water and take it back home with me. It's probably according to the sign that's in the building where his sister is, we'll show you on the frame here. It's where it's probably the best water in the world. In comparison, they say some places in Germany have a little bit better. They said that's about it. So it's probably within the top 2 or 3 in the world, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So
and don't forget, this water was good enough that they piped it to the World's Fair in Chicago in 1893. It's the drinking supply at the fair came from the Hygeia spring. And it was 1893.
nice.
And it went through like 80 miles of pipe, which doesn't do it much for the flavor or the quality. But they would not let the Hygeia Spring Company rip up the streets to put pipes in, so they had to cart it in tanks to get it from where it arrived at the city limits to where the fair was being held. It was sold for a penny a glass, and I don't remember. I think I read an article that there were like 250 drinking stations at the World's Fair in Chicago. And of course, then a penny a glass, I suppose some people had nickels, and you had to have pennies for change. And they had hundreds of thousands of pennies available so they could give out change.
Nice.
There's a lot, and there's a DVD out. Barnes and Noble has it on the Expo City. It was all about the World's Fair in Chicago, and it's very, very interesting, and it is available. And just to see the DVD, it takes about an hour and a half. So I couldn't even begin to tell of all the important and very interesting information that appears on that DVD.
Sherri, you have any other questions?
Yeah, I just want to say I really admire the fact that you've been letting people come and get this water for free, because we get it from the Creator for free from our Mother Earth here. So, you're allowing people to come and get this pure water for free, because there are some really wealthy people that are taking water from Lake Michigan and selling it.
Okay.
It's
That's
just,
true.
people are going and buying this water and then, like, say up north, where up on one of the reservations there in the Bad River Reservation, they're looking at possibly ending up getting their whole reservation ending up being condemned because the water's going to be so polluted from the Pinocchio Hills mine. So, there's a lot of things that we all need to cherish what water we can get. And I am really grateful that Dennis brought me out here to meet you today and to your place, and I'm going to take some water home with me.
Take all you want.
I was so irritated because we got one container, and I had the other ones were glass. I only had one, I had one plastic one, and there was a hole in the bottom.
And I see that every
I
so
said,
often.
oh my gosh, there went a
Yeah,
gallon
I
of
see that
water,
every
darn.
so often.
But the water didn't go to waste. I put it on the flowers there.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
made sure we watered the flowers.
Yeah.
Getting
I didn't
back-
want to waste a drop. So.
Getting back to the crypto thing in Milwaukee, I had a nurse start coming out there. At first, they didn't know why they were getting sick. And then finally, when they found out it was crypto, and then they didn't have anything that they could use to fight this thing, there was no medicine they could take, and some people were going up to Canada because they're a little more lax with experimental medicines and drugs. But she said instead of doing that, she came down and started drinking my water. She says, your water saved my life. She told me that. So if it did, why, it makes me feel really good about it.
Well, the thing is, like, you know, fresh spring water is very healing.
It is.
Because you know, we have the things here on earth to keep us healthy and to heal ourselves, but with all the things that go on, you know, toxins and new things coming on, people just seem to be becoming ill. But I know I've talked before on my show in the past about my dad talking about when he was growing up, when he was younger, you know, how pure the water was where he lived in Tennessee, you know, it's Deaky Creek, and how they bathed in the water, and, you know, they didn't like using soap. You know, a lot of the Cherokee people, they didn't like using soap because they thought the soap would be dirtying the water. And see, so people didn't need all those types of soaps and things back then as much as what they do now. They didn't really need it, you know, for the body, because the body didn't sweat the toxins out that they do now, the things that we eat. So, you know, the pure water, you know, the spring water is more healthy for people than water that, like Dennis was talking about with the bleaches and things. And what was it you were saying that goes into regular tap water?
The fluoride and chlorine is mandated by the government to put in.
Yeah.
The main, and we want to thank you from all of our relations, Red, and we want to honor you and say thank you because you're enabling. Without water, we can't live.
Yeah.
And so your family, you and your sister, and your son, and your family have been the caretakers of this.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of the things that we're thankful that you've allowed the people to come in. And I know from what you've told me, and I know of you, we've known each other over 20 years now. And one of the things that Red has always said, as long as people, he likes the word namaji, dignity, pride, honor, and respect. As long as people treat his land with respect that he's a caretaker of, he doesn't mind them coming. It's when they're disrespectful that makes it hard to keep the water flowing without restricting it. So we want to thank you for allowing that, and we want to thank all of our relations out there for being respectful to the water. So
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Back. You're welcome.
What I was wanting to ask was about, you were talking about lead in the water somewhere in Milwaukee or something? And
Well, there's the water supply around Muskego is not very good. There's a lot of people that come there, and when Sherri was talking to the gentleman that we have in the interview prior, he's the one that mentioned to you about the lead that was in the Muskego water, and that it's not in this water here. So
that's why you.
Well, I can tell you probably how that came about. Pittsburgh Paints used to dump all their garbage in Muskego, where that huge hill is, that landfill, and they dumped all kinds of chemicals into the ground there. And you know yourself with paints and thinners, that's poison. And they ruined a lot of wells in that area. And
Wow.
it was bad. One thing that I forgot to mention was that there are people that come down to get water that they have had some type of cancer and they're on chemo. Now when they're on chemo, they're getting some really nasty chemicals in their body. So now they want to drink water without chemicals. And they can come down by me and they can get that water, the water without chemicals added, because they're getting enough chemicals through their chemotherapy. And that's important.
And the other thing is, if you do get the water and you feel generous and want to thank the family, there is a box that you can, they do accept donations. They never charge for the water, but there is rock that he takes care of. They cut the grass there. They
Insurance, taxes.
Yep.
So there's a lot of money involved just to keep the property.
Right, and keep it open to the public. So when you go there for water, make sure you give something, even if it's a song or, sing out to the water. And that's what we do. Some people say, I don't have a lot of money. Well, you know what? If you just go there and you offer a prayer
Just say thanks, that's
say
enough for
thanks.
me.
That's enough for Red and for their family. So
Yeah, the Cherokee word for water is ama. And the Ojibwe word for water is nipi.
Oh,
well, thank you so much, Red, for sitting and letting us be able to talk about the water and about the importance, because when the last show that we had, when I was talking about miracle and we passed around the water, this was a natural teaching for us to teach people about how the water is. And in the Lakota way, there's a thing that they talk about: know yourself, know your friends, know your enemies, and lead by example. And Red, thank you for leading by example and doing that stuff for us. We appreciate it. You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm grateful for the water that I received today in this conversation.
you have all the water you want.
This is thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
you're
good-
blessed. You're letting people have blessings.
Our higher power is furnishing the water, and in Native American, I don't know if you call it Mother Earth, or it's something outside of me that's making all this happen. And like Dennis said, I'm just a caretaker down there.
It's her
And when I
blood.
pass away, somebody else is going to be the caretaker. Let's just hope they continue what I started.
Yeah, it's the blood, it's her veins, and our stones are the bones, and they're also the grandmothers and grandfathers. So, yes.
The airplane.
Uh-huh.
We had to kind of crawl partly over the seat, crawl over the seat to the other side, and if you have to hang on to anything, if you can reach up and grab those
actually-
bars, well, you can get in.
I can actually just stick
Sure.
your arm in. I'm real flexible.
Sure. Well, maybe you want to. I don't know if you want to shoot from this side.
I don't want to tip your plane over.
Oh, you ain't going to tip nothing over. Oh, you got enough light that you can get a picture?
Oh yeah, we got one.
Okay.
Zoom, zoom.
Dennis and I were here visiting Red. We ran into his friend Charlie out here, who also has working on his planes out here. And Charlie informed me that
We have 240 acres, which we've put into conservation, to the conservation easement. And we have a charitable foundation. Also, it's part of our land. And and I thought it was a good idea if we could work with the Native Americans and have a village, a exact village, the way the Native Americans lived 200 years ago, to show their accomplishments and their struggles and how they survived. And people don't realize how these people struggled to survive. And but it so far hasn't materialized.
okay. So where is this land?
We're 2 miles east of Lake Geneva. I went. They had a powwow in Lake Geneva, and I got to know a few of the people. And I've always been interested in the Native Americans and their culture. And I said, wouldn't it be great if we had a Native American village where school kids could come and people could come and see how they lived and what their accomplishments were. But it hasn't materialized.
Well, I have friends who were Ojibwe that did that, and they've been successful with it. And
Where is that village at?
well, it's in Lac de Flambeau, but
this would have been in southeastern Wisconsin. Would be the only one in the area here.
Yeah, in this area, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we put it out there and ask for that to materialize when it's for its highest well-being?
Yes. And if any of the people wanted to contact you, how would they go about it?
I gave Dennis my card.
So
Okay.
what you want to do is contact the station here, or contact Sherri Jones.
Not the station, but the show.
The show, right. Contact Mending the Hoop.
Yeah, and the communication tree, Mending the Hoop, yes.
So, well, any other questions?
No, that was it. I just thought it was interesting that he had said he had put this idea up, and that he had this land that he put up, you know, for people to use if they wanted to do this.
What I want to do with our property is to share it.
Yeah.
Where we have covenants, and the covenants read that the property is also going to be for educational purposes.
Right,
Which
yes.
a village would be very educational.
Yes.
Yes.
And the enthusiasm for Native Americans is waning and shouldn't be. Your culture should be kept alive, and you should show it. And like when they have a powwow. I think those powwows are great.
Oh yeah, I love them. I like
And that's
dressing in regalia and going and dancing when I
And
can.
it's probably the only thing you've got going for you right now are your powwows.
Well, yeah, there's other things. That's why I started this show in Madison, you know, because I wanted to bring something to life. I grew up there so many years, and there wasn't very much for Native American programs or anything, and there wasn't much about talking about the atmosphere, like we talked about the water and the earth and things and different cultural things. And so it's like a sharing of different cultures. There's a lot of tribes in Wisconsin, different tribes. And so I thought that being in Madison and having a show would give people something to do or something to watch, you know. I mean, there really wasn't much of it. I was bored.
I think it's very important that the Native American culture be kept, be cultivated.
Yeah, there's...
Charlie, do you have any mounds on your property?
If there are, I don't know about them.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask because I wanted to do a segue that after we're done doing the interview here, Sherri and I are going to be going and we're going to be doing a segment on mounds. So, but we just thought we'd ask in case you knew of any.
I have a friend, his name is Steve Young. He knows where every mound is in 100 miles from an area.
Nice. Well, we'll have to follow up with Steve.
I'll have to give you his phone number.
That sounds good.
He probably has the most extensive Native American collection of arrowheads and artifacts that anyone has. Probably the largest in the country.
Well, thank you very much for giving us this time, and thank you for offering in the healing for the people and to have the teachings passed on to the people. That's very important for our culture. So thank you again.
There's
Well, thank
something
you.
else I wanted to say thank you, but you were talking about with education, with culture, with these villages and these places, these recreated villages. Well, there's one in North Carolina that I want to go to, and there are people there that teach how to do basket weaving. It's a Cherokee one, and I'm Bird Clan, over Hill, Cherokee. I'm also Bird Clan, and I wanted to go there because there's another lady who teaches belts and different designs of belts. So these things, they are good for the people who are of these tribes to even go, that
Sure.
haven't got to see the culture like
Very
I have. Like
important.
I've been in Wisconsin here, so I don't know how to weave a belt. My dad didn't teach me how to weave a belt. I mean, come on. So,
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
I was stationed at the military, Air Force Base in Madison. But yeah, so it's like, what you're saying, I think, is really important. The education, people want education.
Exactly.
And they need education. And I think that a lot of non-natives need to be educated too. There's just hasn't been enough of that. So anyways, yes, and thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank
Nice
you.
meeting you.